Sports Buds TV. Join in as we explore the latest news and thrilling matchups. Whether you're a diehard or a casual, this is your destination.
Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Fred Free, hanging out with the homeboy Serge So Sick. Welcome to another episode of Sports Buds TV podcast, where we bring you the dopest, the livest sports talk around town. So let me search.
Yes, sir. You said it. The dopest, we the livest, and we got sports. Sports Buds TV. Y'all know what it is.
Ya te la sábanas. No, well, to start off, we got NFL is king, like always. We got some hot NBA happening. And to close out the show, we got some hot takes on boxing, too. We had some really good fights this past weekend. 4 de Mayo, kind of like 5 de Mayo, but it was live. It was a good fight. Did you get a chance to catch it, Serge, or not?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. We had the Canelo versus Munguia, right? Celebrating 5 de Mayo. We also had Naoya Inoue versus Luis Neri. Start off our week, right? Just really good fights over the weekend. Can't wait to get into those. But you know how we start this show off. I'm ready when you are.
Ya te la sábanas. NFL is king. I mean, not much is happening on the NFL right now. We just had the draft. Besides Tom Brady getting roasted, nothing much is happening. But
Right.
just to give you, did you get a chance to catch that Tom Brady roast on Netflix? Dude, that shit was fucking crazy. Tom Brady was getting his ass roasted.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it all over. I did catch a clip of Bill Belichick at the roast. Apparently, a few people had Adam, Julie Edelman, but the part that I saw also was Robert Kraft went on the stage or the podium, whatever, when Belichick was there and kind of was giving him his flowers. He didn't get a job this coaching cycle after leaving the Pats, so he really did give him an endorsement, a seal of approval, whatever you want to call it, in front of everyone. So I know that was kind of big. But yeah, from what I heard, Brady got roasted. Did Kim K get roasted? And then I guess the ex Giselle, she really walked into the Wolves den.
Oh, man, yeah, dude. Pobrecita, she had it the worst, man. But I caught it. That shit was hilarious. Some really good comedians. Took place. What was the spot where the Lakers used to play at, right? In LA?
I haven't caught it, so you'd have to tell me. But
all right, then. All right, I'm not gonna give you no spoilers, dog. But you gotta catch that. That shit was fucking classic. One of the best ones I've seen. That shit had me laughing. Some good comedy.
There was clips all over. I saw a
Tom
clip of Brady going up to Jeff Ross, telling him to not talk about.
Oh yeah.
Massages.
Yeah, dude, he took it to heart, and
Right.
he's like, Ross is probably one of the dopest, the roast master, and he's always bringing it. So Brady's not like, hey, bájale.
Like, it's cool, pero cálmela.
Yeah, dude. Especially, people love to hate Tom Brady, or they hate to love Tom Brady, either or. So this is a good roast for him, He took it in the chin, and he laid out some good roast himself. So it was fun, man. I really recommend it for everybody listening out there. Check it out. It was good. Tell me, homeboy, thank you.
You watched all of it? How long is it?
Dude, I say close to 2 hours.
All right. I'm gonna have to catch it. I heard Nikki Glazer killed it. She did her thing. So yeah, man, I'll have to catch up with it. I'm not a big roast kind of, sometimes those things can get a little awkward if I'm being honest, but I'm sure it's good. Everyone's talking about it, so I'll have to maybe watch it at like ×2 speed or whatever. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, dude, they got a Gronk, dude. They got a Belichick. Kevin Hart was hosting it.
I'll tell you, I saw a clip where Nikki's like, yo, Brady, I don't know how you got scammed out of crypto. Like, even Gronk was like, me know that dog, real money or something. Like, dude, I was like rolling when I heard that.
That's fucked up, but that shit's classic, dude. Yeah, definitely gotta check it out, Serge. Make some time.
Sure.
And, get yourself some popcorn, get yourself your drink, and watch that shit. It's funny.
Nah, for sure, for
You know
sure.
what? I was looking at the times here. There's some shit. I mean, there is some shit happening pretty soon. We just had everybody saw the draft. We talked about it here at the podcast, and the rookies. I guess they have their mandatory 3-day rookie minicamp May 10th to the 13th, which is this weekend. Um, get to know the facilities, get to know the head
Right.
coaches, get to know what's popping. Which is going to lead up to the start of the season, May 15th. That's looking at my calendar. That's on Wednesday. Wednesday of next week. We get our NFL 2024 schedule release. Most teams already know who they're
Let's
playing.
go.
They just don't know the date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One that I'm really looking forward to is the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. That's going to be a good one. Can't wait. I love Vegas. Moving out there soon. Um, do you know? Do you? I think the Steelers are playing the AFC West this time around. Do you know what division you guys are playing this year, Serge? The Rams.
Nah, man. Like you
Yeah.
said, the dates aren't out yet. We know the opponents, but yeah, no, I'd have to get a little closer to know for sure. But there's other news that's, I know you're talking about the dates and dates to look forward to. That release date, definitely one you got to circle. May 15th, look out for it. But, I mean, there's been some moves. They're probably not the biggest moves, but OBJ, right? He landed somewhere. He's in Miami now with the Finns. So we'll see how that works out. But other moves have been made. I know the Rams released a wide receiver that was, captain on our special teams. We actually announced that we're going to be releasing him, and then within an hour or
Mm.
two, I see that it's wait they're trading, and I mean looks like we moved up, not this round, the next round, and we actually gave a pick away to like I guess offset it. But either way, I'd rather get something than nothing. And if you're moving up in the draft, getting a higher pick, I'd take that. So overall, I mean, there are things that are being done behind the scenes, right? We talk
Yeah.
about the draft and moves that are being made, but don't sleep on the NFL. The NFL never sleeps. It's king.
Yeah. There's another date that just happened, which was May the 2nd, Monday of this week. We're on right now. Today's the 9th. There's a deadline for the
Last week.
teams to pick up the fifth-year option for the 2021 first round draft
Mm,
pick. One that I can tell you about because it happened to my favorite football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris did not get his fifth-year option picked up by the Steelers. Some say it's a dick move. It's just business. I'm really hoping that we're able to negotiate some type of deal with them. The Steelers do have um, a few options at running back with Jalen Warren, and they picked up the rookie from Georgia. Um, but Najee Harris, man, I mean, this guy, he's um, he's a three-down back. He's legit. It's just a little. I think it was like 6 million, something like that. We should have gotten it, my opinion. Now we got the franchise tag deadline on July 17th, so maybe we might give them the franchise. Maybe that's what the Steelers are waiting for. Franchise tag.
right.
And training camps are supposed to open mid to late July. Can't wait. That's when you start getting like NFL Network, more footage of the rookies, the free agents you picked up, working together. And the 2024 season kicks off with the Hall of Fame game in Canton. We all know that. We don't know who's going to play yet. That's Thursday, August 8th. And from there forward, the preseason continues until Sunday, August 25th. And the regular season begins on the Thursday, September 5th. Again, we don't know who's going to play yet, but it'll come out on the 15th. So stay tuned and let us know.
No, for sure. Keep it here at Sports Buds TV. Big dates coming up. You can look at your calendar right now. It's May 9th, and a few short days from now, next week, it'll be May 15th, that official date release as far as your games, where your team is headed. You can start booking flights, booking hotels, right? Getting all that good stuff taken care of. So good stuff coming just next week. Then after that, would you say you have a schedule here? I see the spring league meeting, but I'm looking forward to June. If I'm being honest, late May, some
Yeah,
of those OTAs, seeing those rookies get in that playbook if they haven't already, and really start to dive into it. And like you said, it just keeps going, and before we know it, we're in the Hall of Fame game. But more to come, and keep it here, Sports Buds TV.
yeah, dude, it's gonna be a good one. I like how NFL Network dives deep. I don't know who's gonna be the team for the Hard Knocks. I hope it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll be really dope. But football never sleeps. There's always something happening. Something always happening with the NFL. Now, there's another hot sport popping right now, which is the NBA playoffs, conference semifinals. We got some really good games, some really good teams popping. Uh, Today we saw the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers duke it out, like they used to say. I don't know if that's still a hip word to say, but series got tied 1-1. The Cavs,
Yes, sir.
the fourth seed in the East, went to Boston, balled out. I did catch the game on ESPN, and Donovan the Spider Mitchell came through. He just caught a hot hand in the second half. Every time the Celtics try to make a run, the Spiders are like, nah, check this out. Started dropping threes. He
Right,
was
right.
just in the range. He was just in the range. Levert got down. He contributed for I think 21 points. And Mobley was on the boards all day. He even dropped like two threes, I believe. So the Cavs are on their game today, man, and they go back to Cleveland. The series tied 1-1, and anything can happen in the playoffs. Like I know the
Right.
Celtics were heavy favorites on the East, rightfully so. They've been balling on everybody, but I don't know. Who knows if the Cleveland Cavaliers found a formula? But today they look sharp.
Well, I'll say this: as far as that series, the Celtics took care of business really well in the first round, 4-1, right? So they're on a
Yep,
bit of a roll. Then they win game one. They're still on a bit of a roll. And for what it's worth, the Cavaliers ended up going 7 games in round one. So,
that's true.
I mean, they drew blood, is the best way I can say. They stole home court advantage, is another thing you'll hear as far as these playoffs. When that road team gets that win that you're looking for, it really there's another saying, right? The series doesn't start until the road team wins, and boom, game two, we
Boom.
have ourselves our series, right? You asked me, I think the Celtics bounce back. They will end up probably winning the series in 5 or 6 games when it's wrapped up and making their way into the conference finals. But definitely, props to the Cavs, Mitchell, Spider Mitchell. They showed out today. Drew blood, stole home court advantage, and we'll see if maybe they can keep that spark going. It's not one that I can bet on if you're taking bets right now, Fred. I'm not sure if you are, but
No, nah, I'm with you. Nah, hey, you know what? I'm with you on that one, Serge.
yeah, bud.
I think the Celtics, took a day off today, man. They tried to make a run in the second half, which they did. They were like on an 8-0 run to cut the lead, but
Right.
the Cavs were just on it today, man. So if the if the Cavs were able to, keep this momentum they had today, I could see this series going to a 7-game series. But I think the Celtics overall, they're a much better team. There was another game that was played today,
Yep.
which is the number one seeded Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder, against the Dallas Mavericks, seed number 5. OKC leads the series 1-0. But today,
Yep.
Luca said, slow down there, Buckaroo. And he was able to drop him today, dude. Kyrie wasn't in his best game. I think he was under. I think he finished the night with single digit. But he did, provide a double digit assist night. So he still contributed. You know, um, Mavericks went ahead and tied the series 1-1, and they go back to Dallas. They go back to Dallas, and I think this one's going to be also a slugfest. What do you think about this one, Serge?
Yeah, dude, this one, this is interesting only because the Thunder are, I think, historically one of the youngest teams to end up with the number one seed. So it's not something you typically see with such a young team. And when it comes to the playoffs, experience really helps put you over in a matchup. And it's not everything. It's not like the end all be all, but it sure helps. And the Thunder came out in game one, and they're just this young team that was ready, firing on all cylinders, and they punched the Mavs right in the mouth. Oh,
Yeah,
take it. And the Mavs, to their credit, a veteran, a veteran fighter, if you will, took it on the chin. That was round one, and they came back tonight in round two at the OKC Thunder's crib, and they punched them right back in the mouth. To the credit of the Thunder, they were competitive and still kept it a close game, single digits, even though in those final minutes at some point. However, my take is that experience. Luca and Joker are just some really good offensive players. I feel like they can be better on the defensive end, and I think Luca, if you're not going to maybe, you know, give as much on the defensive end, granted you're giving a lot on the offensive end. I get it. The rebounding today that he was able to, come away with those boards, that's big. That's big. It's such a big part of the game of basketball. It's just not scoring is what I've always tried to like. My point when it comes to those two players, Joker and Luca, the points are awesome and we need those, but you also need a rebound. Boxing out would be great, so all that helps out, and I think it's a big reason why even though Kyrie might not have had his typical Kyrie game that he's had lately, the Mavs were able to go into OKC and still home court advantage from them, just like we talked about in the series prior. So that's
exactly.
big for them. They wouldn't. I don't think they could afford to go down two games, right? I mean, they may have the firepower, but you don't want to put yourself in a hole if you can avoid that. So that's what they did today, I think.
Exactly. I agree with you, brother. Today the map came out, guns blazing, like they say, and I totally agree with you on that defensive. They got to play a little bit more defense too, man. It'll just if you're not having a good offensive night, tell me. I mean, even
Yeah.
crashing like 4, 5, 6 extra boards helps. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, dude, that's a good thing they tied the series. They didn't put themselves in that hole. Speaking of being in a hole, there's two other games that are happening tomorrow, Serge. Let me tell you a little bit about
Can't
them.
wait. Bring
All
it
right,
on.
you want to start off with the West or the East?
Let's do the East first because the sun
Let's
rises in
go.
the East and sets in the West.
Wow, ya se la saben, eh? Philosophy 101.
Wax
Um,
on, wax off, Danielson.
check it out. We got the New York Knickerbockers up 2-0, visiting the
Oh, New
Indiana
York. Oh,
Pacers
New York.
tomorrow.
Oh, New York. Yeah. My bad.
Hey, we got a great game in our hands tomorrow.
We do.
You don't want to go into game 4 being down 3-0. You definitely don't. And the way the Knicks have been playing basketball, man, who could hate on the Knicks, man? They got exciting players. Their coach, Tom Thibodeau. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably killing his last name here, but he's making those guys play hard, man. Play some tough defense. And Jalen Brunson killing it. The rest of the other, what's his name? Josh Hart killing it. They're all just contributing with, it just reminds me of those 90s New York Knicks teams where they were just gritty. They would like grind it out. Um, but I picked the Knicks on the East, so I'm really glad they're playing this type of basketball. I can't wait for tomorrow's game. Who you got on this one, Serge?
Yeah, Brody, I really looked forward to this one from the beginning of it. Everybody was hyping up, Pacers, Knicks, throwback to '90s rivalries that we enjoyed. Reggie Miller was actually in the house for Game Two. I'm not sure if you heard what the New
Oh
York fans
man,
were saying,
yeah.
and basically they were saying "F you, Reggie," and
F
letting him
you,
know.
Reggie.
Yeah,
Yep,
so and Reggie's no stranger to you know
he's not.
the treatment he gets in New York City. But yeah, back to the current series that we have with these guys. Um, Looking at what Jalen Brunson is doing, I mean, the guy's been on a tear. I know that you can look back at some of these national sports broadcasters, and some of them have egg on their face about, how they trashed Jalen Brunson going to New York. For those who know, if you know, you know. Jalen Brunson actually was playing for the Mavericks just before going to New York, and you know, sidebar there. I'm a Spurs fan, so anytime the Spurs play the Mavs, I'm definitely paying attention, like I do any of the Spurs games. And Jalen Brunson, dude, for everybody would give credit to Luca, would have these games against the Spurs. So that's when I first started like, oh, Jalen Brunson can ball. So
Yeah,
he goes to New York. All right, cool. Let's see what he does. All right, make some noise. This year, and the run that he's been on in these playoffs, is he averaging about 35 per night, something like that? This last game, I know it wasn't, but he also missed the second quarter. So, give him some grace. But the guy's just on a tear, a walking bucket right now. The Pacers, though, they have Halliburton. He had a crazy season. Another player that, was, I believe, in Sacramento. It didn't work out for whatever reason, but he's found
yeah,
a home, it seems like. So good for the guy. Um, you'd expect more points from him, but I'll say this. Game one was a close game. I believe, what was it, 3, 4 point game at the end. And then if we look at game two, yeah, it ends up being about a, 9, 10 point game, something like that at the end of the night. But it really gets away from the Pacers in the third quarter. If you go
yeah,
back to that, per quarter, first quarter, second quarter, they may have scored the same points up until that point in both quarters. And in that third one, it's a huge lopsided difference. And even in the fourth quarter, I think maybe they it was a 1 point difference. So that really sealed it for them in that third quarter. I know it looks bad. You're down 2 games, but if we're being honest, the Knicks did what they're supposed to do. They won the 2 games at home. Now the Pacers have to do what we call hold serve and take care of business at home, and make it an interesting, keep it a series. Because like we
yeah,
said prior, it doesn't start until the road team takes a victory. But yeah, man,
yeah.
I can't wait for this game three tomorrow with the Knicks having to go to Indiana and play the Pacers at their place.
Dude, the Knicks just show they were just playing with a different energy in the fourth quarter. I mean, I get it, home field advantage, right? But you could tell the crowd was pushing them in that fourth quarter. And
Yeah,
even
they would
though
not let them lose. Sure. Yep.
even though the Pacers were also like slugging it out in the fourth quarter, the Knicks just showed a little bit more grit, and it paid off. It paid off. So now they head to Indiana tomorrow. They have a game out there. The odds by ESPN bet
Yeah.
Indiana minus 7.5.
Okay.
Interesting. The over and under is 222.5. I think I'll take the over. I think it's gonna be a point fest out there. There's another game going on tomorrow, Serge. Another team that's in the hole, 2-0, and their visitors tomorrow, the Denver Nuggets, with their brand new MVP for the third time, head over to Minnesota to face the Timberwolves and the new father, Rudy Gay, and the boys. What do you think about this matchup, Serge?
Dude, that's another one that I'm looking forward to. This is actually the one that I'm most looking forward to. And shout out to the new father. I believe you're talking about Rudy Gobert. So shout out
Gobert,
to him.
Gobert.
No
Yeah,
worries. I think Rudy
killed
Gay
it.
is with the Kings. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyhow, as far as this series, dude. Okay, so in the prior series, you mentioned how in full disclosure, our teams are out of the playoffs. We're not in contention, so it's okay to, this is my horse that I'm picking for this, run. And you've made it clear the Knicks are your horse. So I
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
Anthony Edwards, and personally because of how I follow Team USA basketball, how I follow Team USA, period, right? Um, a guy's a baller. He's a shot caller. You know what I mean? So
He is, bro. He really is.
I'm a big fan of the guy, dude. As far as his talents on the basketball court. Um, Again, as far as USA basketball, the world has gotten better, but I'm just really looking forward to what he's going to do in the next Olympics, and hopefully he can help the US keep what we be doing on the basketball court. But let's keep it to this series. So I'm a big Edwards fan. I felt when the playoffs started, they're a dark horse in my opinion. And those 2 7-footers, it's kind of hard in the playoffs to kind of get through that when you're trying to drive to the basket. So you really either have to be on shooting or I don't know what else, because it's going to be hard to get in the paint.
No, I agree with you, bro. That Wolves defense is next level, bro. That
Mm-hmm.
shit is next level. Like, not only are they one of the best offenses in the 23-24 season, but now their defense is just as good, man. You
Yeah.
mentioned the 2 7-footers, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, but there's another one in the mix.
Yep.
Nas Reed has been balling.
Yep.
Nas Reed has been balling. You can't forget about veterans like Michael Conley, dishing out the 10, repartiendo el queso, and man, I feel you, dude. The Timberwolves, they just something about them similar to the Knicks. Now, the Knicks, maybe they don't have, 3 7-footers, but, it just brings that same energy. Is that new young blood, giving that old school NBA vibe when I was a
I'll,
kid.
and I'll say this only because I am going to give the praise and the flowers to the Timberwolves, but at the end of the day, this matchup that they're going up against, it's the defending champions, and you should never underestimate the heart of a champion. So before the series started, I'm gonna give the Denver Nuggets the respect they deserve as the defending champs. We're the boxing guys, on these YouTube or social media streets, whatever you want to call it. So if we're talking about boxing terms, I feel like they're the defending champs. You want to be the man, you got to beat the man, right?
Yeah.
So this matchup, before it was, I'm going with the Wolves before it starts. And I'm thinking if Anthony Edwards can do what I'm thinking he can do, watch out, because he's going to win a title. And if he does it against, on his way there, defeating the defending champs, dude, he's already taken out and really put a stranglehold on the Suns, which, I mean,
Yeah.
they may not have been the most threatening team, but at the end of the day, they have
Well, on paper
KD,
they look.
Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On,
you know what I mean.
yeah. On paper they look impressive, and they're a great team. But they had a tough run against the Wolves. The Wolves took those opportunities and they did something with it. They swept them, and now they're looking like they're gonna get their second sweep.
And I don't want to get
Now,
ahead
if
of myself, but imagine that he beats the Suns, the Nuggets, and then let's say the Mavs do it. I'm just based on experience. That's a heck of a run on your way
yeah,
to your first finals. I don't want to get
yeah.
ahead. Don't put the cart before the horse, but I'm really
Well,
looking forward to it tomorrow night, dude.
I mean, now that yeah, definitely, definitely. This is like it's for all the marbles in my opinion. Because coming back from a 3-0 lead, it's tough, man.
Yeah,
So now that we're in the subject of putting all the marbles in the pot, so far from what we've seen, who's your early finals MVP? Or not finals, playoff MVP. I'm sorry. Playoff MVP.
all right, fair enough, fair enough. And we did just get the news. Joker, you actually mentioned it here on our show just earlier, getting his third MVP. Shout out to him. Um, the kid, from OKC, Shea, he's a baller. He definitely, should be considered. Your
Absolutely.
boy,
Great point.
your
Great point.
your boy Jalen Brunson, dude, he's been on a roll right now. Uh, but it's just insane what and I just feel like the West has got more of a stacked overall 1 through 8. I feel like the East is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bash her. I just feel like the records on the West, and I don't know them off the top of my head. I just feel like the East isn't as competitive at the end of the day. So, dude, that road to get through in the West is just really impressive.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I think,
I'm gonna give it
I
to
think,
Anthony Edwards, probably. My bad. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna probably go with Anthony Edwards, and that's not to take away from any of the names I mentioned, dude. But Anthony Edwards is just been and then tomorrow night we don't even know what's gonna happen because for everything we talked about the Pacers and trying to go home and the Wolves are going home, dude, up 2-0.
yeah,
Insane,
yeah,
insane, dude.
it's getting crazy. And I mean, maybe let's say you squeeze one out in Minnesota. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
you still have to play them there a few nights after that, dude. And now, if any team can do it, I think the Nuggets can. You
The
know,
defending champs, of
yeah.
course.
So, but man, I agree with you. I think for now, I think Ant is my early playoff MVP. Just the way he's been balling, man. His confidence. He's putting that with his talent, his skill, and it's he's we're watching like something crazy, in the mix right here, man. This young man is balling.
Yeah, man.
Don't
No, I
get,
can't wait tomorrow. Until tomorrow. For tomorrow, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. I mean, we're gonna keep talking about NBA playoffs, in the following
Oh yeah.
show. So it's just throwing it out there, like they say, alborotando el gallinero.
See,
But
see,
let us know what your early picks are. Who's been balling, and let's see what happens.
you said it, brother. This is round two. Then we got round three, or otherwise known as the conference finals. Definitely some more to go through, discuss. But y'all know what to do. You can find us everywhere on social media at SportsBuds TV. Don't forget like, comment, share, subscribe. Who do you got? Who do you think has been the MVP through these playoffs? Um, what
I, I,
team?
honestly, I think I agree with you. I think Anthony Edwards, he's been balling, yo. I mean, this kid, he has that confidence. You can see it, and he's putting that with his talent, with the speed he
For sure.
plays at. He's a sharp shooter. He's fearless. I give it an Ant. I think Ant's gonna do some crazy crazy shit this finals or this
So if
playoffs.
so if y'all agree with us, y'all know what to do. Give us that comment. Don't forget to, while you're at it, subscribe, and then join us as we keep discussing not only basketball, but y'all know what we do. We talk about that NFL. We talk about that boxing, that MMA. Keep it here.
Sí,
Sports
sí.
Buds TV.
Tienen un pinche parote and subscribe.
You
Hey,
see
sir. Speaking
what?
of parotes and speaking of people holding each other down and I got your back, you got my back.
Right, right.
Um, Canelo Alvarez versus your boy Mungia, my boy Mungia.
There you go.
Uh, it was there was a knockdown. There was a knockdown. It happened on the fourth, right? Fourth round.
Yeah, no, yeah, in the fourth round. You're right. My bad.
Fourth round. Okay. Could have been more, in my opinion. I think they he put the brake. He hit the brake pedal a little bit, you know, just so the fight could prolong a little bit. But Canelo took the win. Canelo took the win. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think, if we're being honest, I don't think we were surprised. I know Mungia has a fan base, and definitely people seem to have been on his side, especially as you hear the crowd and they're going at it. You hear the crowd. He actually started off well. I like how he started off in that first round behind the jab. I really thought he used the jab like I never had seen him use that before. And that thing about the jab and his reach is he can keep Canelo off of him. And, Canelo try to come inside and, pause. Um, he just sticks that jab out and keeps him at bay, right? And then in the second round, I felt like he was doing some of that, same thing. Um, on my card, because I don't want to be too biased and just give everything to Munguia, but if I'm being fair, I thought Munguia took the first round. Thought he maybe have taken the second one, but I thought it was close where if somebody gave it to Canelo, I wasn't going to fight him on it. Once we got into that third round, I thought that jab still kept working well, and he took the third round. So by then, at the very least, you've either given him 3 rounds or 2 of the first 3. Not bad. Great start.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I saw that.
However, we've also seen Canelo get outboxed against one Caleb Plant. So this whole being outboxed, it's not really surprising because Canelo's at a point in those first early rounds, he's what they call, measuring, downloading, your moves, your timing, and just he's a counterpuncher. So he's just getting in there to see when that moment's going to be right. So we get into that fourth round, and like you said, he drops him, and he drops him in a really veteran way. If we look back at it, we don't have it on the screen here, unfortunately, but don't worry, I can describe it for y'all. No worries. He throws that left first, and it seems like he with it maybe puts his guard out of position where it leaves a window, and then quickly comes up with the right uppercut, which I had heard someone, I forget who at this point, but had mentioned, watch out for that upper, just because of how Munguia has his face over his knees or his balance. Yeah. It's just an awkward position where you're kind of leaving yourself open for that. And Canelo knew it, no doubt about it. That's exactly what he looked for and found it, and then dropped him. As far as could he have gotten
I
him
think
out of there?
I think that's a greatness in Canelo that he's he has power, like you mentioned, right? He's a power puncher, but he also has a great boxing IQ. You know, I mean, there was a what is it, 6, 7 year difference between both boxers, and
Oh,
there's also about a 20 fight difference between Canelo and Jaime Munguia. And this fight showed that experience. Those 20 extra fights Canelo's been on. Granted, maybe some were tougher than others, but those are just more shots in the ring. And I think Munguia is a great fighter. I mean, he was 43-0. Now he's 43-1. I mean, that record speaks for itself. He's gonna get a lot more other great fights, great opportunities. He's gonna learn from this one. But props to Canelo for this one. He did what he had to do. I think you're right. I think in the first couple of rounds, Munguia came out aggressively, and in the middle rounds, Canelo just kept grinding. Um, I think it was fair. I think it was a good win for Canelo, and it was a good. It wasn't just like a setup fight. So let's see what happens next, man. There's a lot of talk about him and Crawford, or him and you mentioned the other guy. I forgot what other guy you mentioned. Footlong? No, not Footlong. Berlanga? What's that fighter you were mentioning that might fight Canelo next?
oh yeah, Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, I mean,
Berlanga.
I guess if we're looking at Mungia's heart and wanting to be in the ring and compete to win, yeah, dude, that definitely no shame, no discredit, no disrespect to Mungia, and hats off. That's awesome, dude. But you're asking people to pay $90 over that because with taxes and fees and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude, but Mungia with the Canelo fight, That was his second fight in the division, dude. It's like this guy has just for the last year or two just fought guys that have had one fight, two fights in the division, or flat out just brought him up from one or two divisions below. Like, it's cool you're putting on a show. Like, people are cool. They're like, excited to go see you fight. But let's not forget that when he finished that fight in the ring in front of his fans, a crowd of his fans at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas were there for him. He was asked, the fight that we want, that this country wants, that the world wants, is David Benavides. They didn't mention any other name. And once his words, right after being asked that, were, I need time, not whatever it was, but not now, there were quite a few boos that were heard throughout that arena. So much that then he kind of had to switch it up where, like, but I don't care, we can do it right now. Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you, brother. You know what? And you're right. That was a talk around town. Everybody knows, what the crowd wants. What the fans want. Now, you know what? I just got $1 million idea, Serge. You want to hear
what's
it?
that?
Should I drop it here in the podcast so everybody can, or just keep it on the low?
Nah, man. I mean, I think it's worthwhile. I think we should give them an exclusive. That's what we do here.
Check
An
it out.
exclusive.
All right. What if what if this fight never happens,
Okay.
but they make a what if movie about it?
Like the 30
Kind of
for
like a
30.
kind of like a Rocky movie, like a Rocky movie, like
You know how
you
what
know,
if, or I mean, how the 30 for 30 would have like, what if I told you this was
yeah,
what if I told you? There
or
you go,
yeah,
dude.
or like maybe have like an AI simulation, just go over the fights and see who would win, you know. But I mean, nothing like getting the real fight, right? But I don't
Dude,
know, man. I mean,
the
time will tell.
latest the latest from Canelo was he needs $200 million to fight David Benavides in the ring. And he mentions that the reason is David brings nothing for him except for between 20, 25, 30 pounds more on fight night. And for that, he needs $200 million. So I'm I'm not sure
I
if
think
he
that fight. I
might have.
think that fight will generate that much revenue. Absolutely. Especially,
Well,
especially the more, check this out. The more Canelo ducks Benavides, the more that fucking pay-per-views or hype will build.
you
Because
got to
people
understand
are gonna
that.
forget, man.
Well, but keep this in mind because I mean that sounds cool. Like, yeah, he deserves that. But on the regular, he makes 35 mil per fight, maybe more but minimum 35 mil. They've offered him to fight Benavides 60. you know? And when
Yeah.
he first was asked, he's like, I need 150 million. And then he thought, well, you know what? That's not high enough. Let me ask for 200. He's clearly pricing himself out, in my opinion. Not even heavyweights make that amount of money. But if you want to go off like, well, it's because he thinks David's bigger. He's like going to bring 20 pounds more. This is the same guy that a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, wanted to fight Makabu in the like just above the 175 pound. I think I forget what weight it was, but he was a champion for the WBC. I forget the exact weight class. It might be the Bridger weight. I forget off the top of my head. It's just right before heavyweight because he even was calling out Usyk at one point before he lost to Bivol. So it's just
Okay.
funny. I mean, like you said, you would fight Usyk. You said you wanted Makabu, and you didn't need 200 million to fight either of those fools.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I
Yeah.
doubt that
Yeah.
we'll see
It
it,
is.
man. I'm going to hold my breath.
That's what I'm telling you. That's why with my $1 million idea, bro, we'll make that shit happen. We'll give it to the fans. It'll be a what if.
Oh, what if 30 for 30?
What if 30 for 30, produced by Fred Free,
But listen,
narrated
bo-
narrated by Serge.
boxing is in a good spot right now, dude. And Canelo Alvarez, he put on a great show, right? He definitely showed people he's still one of the faces, if not the face. But when I say one of the faces, we have the names like Bud Crawford, two-time undisputed champion in boxing, things you just don't hear of. But there's another guy in boxing that has had quite a similar role to Crawford. He's not in the same weight class. He's the smaller weight classes, but he put on a show for those of us that woke up early to watch his fight. It was quite a treat and worthwhile. It was Monday morning, and we saw Naoya Inoue take on Luis Neri at the Tokyo Dome. If I'm not mistaken, Fred, this was 55,000 plus came in and packed the Tokyo Dome on a Monday. This would have been a Monday afternoon or evening in Tokyo, Japan. For us, it was an early Monday morning here in the States. So yeah, I was waking up around 5:30 to catch this one. Not too bad. We live in mountain time on this side over here, so it wasn't too bad. But boy, did we get a show, man. Quite a show. And this one, I got to give props. I mean, Luis Neri's had a few losses, but at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, he has had a bout at this weight class. So
Yeah.
he's also beaten a former Japanese champion, and I think that the way that one goes, Fred, actually, is he beat him once, and he might have been overweight, so he missed weight. And then I
Okay.
think he beat him a second time because they ran it again. And then
No
it came out that
mames.
he was on PEDs. Him
No
being Luis
mames.
Neri. So Luis Neri ends up getting banned for life by Japan. They're like, we're done with
Oh
you.
yeah, they don't fuck around over there, dog. They don't fuck around. They don't. That culture is
Cheating is
very
a big
strict.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big deal.
But Naoya Inoue is now in the division. He's breaking people in the ring, dude. Stephen Fulton, a heck of an American fighter. Um, about I'm not sure if it was about a year now, but he went into Japan, and I'm thinking he's gonna, give a challenge and put a good outing out there, maybe pull out an upset. No, that didn't happen at all. No way, just demolishes him. Prior to that, Nonito Donaire, I think he dropped him the first time they fought. They run it back after a few years, and this time there was no doubt that Inoue's just much better, dude. He breaks him also. So we get into that fight Monday morning. They get into the ring. Round one starts, dude. Luis Neri, they lifted the ban because they want him to fight Inoue so bad. The people out there probably wanting some sort of payback, revenge, whatever you want to call it,
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
they lift the ban, dude. The fight goes on. They do their entrances. Round one starts, and believe it or not, Luis Neri drops Naoya Inoue, dude, in the ring in the first round,
A la
taking an
verga.
8 count. Dude, like,
8 count.
I'm
No
yelling at
mames.
5:30 in the morning, dude, on a Monday morning. Like, kids, I don't get them up ready for school and all that till like 6:30-ish, right? Get them ready for breakfast, all that. So it's quite a while before they got to be up, dude. I'm like, oh, what the? Yeah, dude, I did not expect. I mean,
That's funny.
it was insane. But you know what? To Naoya's credit, he composed himself, took the 8 seconds, didn't rush it. Some people will rush it right away. Yeah, no, take it. Get those 8 seconds. You got dropped already. There's no doubt about it. So use, my bad, the time that you have. So he takes those 8 seconds, gets up at the 8 seconds so that you make the 10. It's a standing. You can't be barely making the count. So he gets up, finishes the round, and to his credit, comes back in round two and drops Luis Neri, dude. So in boxing 3-minute rounds, the guys first 6 minutes of this fight, dude, you see two knockouts, and each man have like hit the canvas. You're like, what the is going on right now, dude? It became a bit obvious to me that from what I was seeing, I don't think Luis Neri felt that he could go the distance with Naoya Inoue. His plan in my book was, I got to strike, and I got to strike early, and I got to put him down. And if I can do
Yeah.
that, my chances of winning are greater. And if I'm not able to do that, and this starts going round by round, my chances of winning start to, decrease. So that's what I felt happened. That's what I felt was Luis Neri's approach, and that's probably what ended up happening because he got dropped some more time. And then finally, when he got caught, dude, that last one, it was a bit similar to the Canelo, where he kind of starts with the left and hits him with the right. But this time, Luis Neri finished the job. And Luis Neri, he goes down, and Naoya Inoue finishes the job. The mouthpiece comes out of Luis Neri. It's at that point already 8 seconds. So once that mouthpiece came out, then the ref waved it off. It was it. And wow, what a performance, man. The people that were so upset with what had happened in prior fights with Luis Neri, I mean, you could say they got that sweet revenge, man. It was wow. All this before 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning as I'm getting ready, dude, on a Monday to start my week. So
that's insane.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I mean, Nettie did his thing. He went out there. I mean, it's one of those like, at least I got my punch in.
Sure,
at least I hit him once. So hey, he fought with honor, and I'm
just
sure
the
the
fact
Japanese
that he dropped
people.
them, because that the Japanese people, as he's leaving, weren't necessarily all booing him. Before the fight, you could hear people booing, and I was surprised because I don't think they usually would do that. But as he's leaving, some of them are like, "Yo, like that was sick." Because you got to, like, at the end of the day, give him his due. I mean, went in there, gave it a shot, puts him down. Like, nobody expected that, dude. But that's boxing, man. It's lit right now. I'm telling you, Saturday night we had, whatever, for what it's worth, it was a fight. And then the pageantry or, the spectacle of it all was a big fight. Phil and Munguia had the heart, way more heart than Jermell Charlo. I'll give him that. He was in there.
No,
yeah, dude, Jermell, for being undisputed and whatever you want to say, didn't show the same heart that Munguia did. And, forgive me if I'm, coming off too harsh. Munguia
no, you're right. No, you're right.
I felt that from Mel. But then, that was Saturday night. And then Monday morning, dude, we get that Naoya Inoue, just performance, heck of a performance. And we're on the roll, dude. Saturday, before that main event or before the fight, we got the press conference, actually, for a card that is coming up next month. Let me put that up on the screen before we wrap things up today. But we'll be getting Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin on pay-per-view. This is Amazon video. Don't miss it. On the co-main event, David Benavidez taking off. Oh, I don't have my guy's first name. Godofsky. I don't know the guy. I haven't seen many of his fights, but I know that he was the former champion in the 175 division. He actually lost to Arthur Beterbiev, and that's how Arthur became the champion. So at one point, he was one of the guys with the belt. As this is David's first fight in a very long time, because he's been at 168 for, I believe, like 10 years. So first time going up in quite a while, and it's going to test those waters. I believe this one's going to be for the interim 175 WBC belt and put him in line to fight the winner eventually of what happens between Beterbiev and Bivol. But heck of a card, man. They're going to have, I believe they announced the rest of the card. I don't have it in front of me, but it's quite a stacked card. I want to say Cormel Moten is on there. And some other names that I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, it looks like quite a stacked card after all, man. That we get next month.
Oh yeah, dude! Can't wait! Tank hasn't fought in a while, so to see what he's got. And I know there was a bit of a scuffle between him and Martin recently in Vegas, so let's see what goes down. And then your boy
Benavidez. He went right up to him, and then he even kind of pushed him off a little bit. But yeah, and I can't wait, dude. And yeah, we'll see what David can do going up.
Gonna be a good one, research. What else is happening in boxing? Any other fights coming up? I know we got Fury coming up, right?
You said it, dude. You said it.
Fury against Usyk. Finally, let's see what happens, dude. I think you know what? I'm just gonna call it out. I'm going for how do you pronounce it? Usyk.
Usyk. But
Usyk. I'm
yeah,
going
dude.
for Usyk. I hope Usyk takes him out in the third round. That's just how I feel. I used to like Tyson Fury a lot, but then I don't know, dog. I just kind of like lost a little love for him, and I'm just rooting for Usyk.
Dude, it's on a roll right now, man. It's definitely in a good spot. Again, on Saturday night, Canelo Alvarez defended his undisputed 168 belts. Then on Monday morning, Naoya Inoue puts on his 122 undisputed belts on the line. So we're just getting undisputed left and right. And this weekend, we'll actually see Lomachenko in action versus George Kambosos in Australia. But
Oh, dope.
yeah. So that's a good one. Don't miss it. It's going to be on ESPN. If you're not doing anything on Saturday night, it's a good show. But the big one, next Saturday, less than 10 days away, May 18th, the Ring of Fire, Fury versus Usyk, dude. At this point, Tyson Fury, his last fight, we saw him against Francis Ngannou. Maybe
Yeah,
he didn't take it as serious. The fight you end up seeing, Ngannou
I
kind of
think
had his way with him.
I don't think he did, but go ahead.
No, well, he dropped him, so that's all I'm saying. So, but I don't feel like he came in as prepared, as in shape as I saw him, like for example, with Deontay Wilder. Um, Usyk, the guy was undisputed at the division right below this, right before he went to heavyweight. I forget what it's called actually, what the weight is, but he was undisputed at that division, and
Simon.
that's actually the division I think Canelo wanted to fight Makabu at. But anyhow, so he was undisputed before. He's then fought now after moving up to heavyweight Anthony Joshua to get three of the heavyweight titles that are out there, unify the division. He's the unified heavyweight champion right now. And he's actually defended those against Anthony Joshua after beating him. So, he put some, got to put some respect on his name. Uh, Tyson Fury, they were actually about to fight, I believe, about a month or two ago, and then it came out that Tyson got hurt. Now,
Yeah, I remember.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He got hurt. He says he got hurt. He was hurt, but a part of me maybe feels that he might not have been, for him at least, in the best shape. And I say that because if we look at how he's coming in, he's made the trip to the location already, and he looks in much better shape. So I'm not gonna, say he used it as an excuse, but I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Use that time, make sure that you're ready, and he definitely looks ready now.
Oh, he
If he's
definitely
the
looks ready,
Tyson,
especially for a guy like Usyk. He's
yeah,
gonna come at him. Usyk's gonna take this opportunity, and he's not gonna let it go, man. So we're gonna
and
see
we'll break
some
it down.
fireworks.
This is just like a preview, but it's a big deal. We haven't had a undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in over 30 years, maybe, dude, 25 years.
Yeah,
Lennox Lewis was the last one. And I think when he was running, with his undisputed campaign at heavyweight, I think I want to say there was only 3 bouts at the time. So now it's 4 bouts, the Ring
or
magazine, and yeah. So this
can't
is
wait.
this is a big deal, man. Don't miss it. May 18th. Next week we'll have more on it. We'll get more into it. We'll dive deeper
I already
into
have
the
the horse in
topic,
this race, so can't wait.
dude. I
Let's
really
go.
respect Usyk and what he's done. Tyson's cool and all, and he may end up just pulling it off, but it would be insane if somehow Tyson is upset by Alexander Usyk. And well, you know what? I don't. We got a week. Next week we'll get definitely into it and dive into that whole topic. But that is boxing. This has been Sports Buds TV. I mean, what a show, man! We talked NFL. We talked NBA playoffs, and we wrap it up with boxing, but a whole lot going on, I gotta say.
Yeah, so that's Saben on research. We got all that topics. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and we're done for today. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all be good. We are out of here.
Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the latest episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. See you on the next one.